Alright, what up you guys, and welcome back. WOLVSAid the engineers here, and this is Kerbal Massive Engineering. I honestly forgot which craft I was looking for. Yep, just found it. B9er. So the idea is, as you're aware, today's technology rocket has become different. It changed from an actual rocket into SSTO. But B9er is actually for another episode. For now, I want to show you for everywhere or to everywhere satellite. And this is Carrier 1 with its cargo bay. Basically, the idea is to send an SSTO halfway in a flight and then release the rocket to go to space. So I've built this large craft. It's a stock SSTO, and in the cargo bay we have to everywhere satellite. Now this is a full rocket inside the cargo bay. The main stage, which is the satellite, is a prop core, reaction wheel, docking portal, some solar panels, slapped a bunch of battery, and xenon container, because this is using ion engine, and I have a whole 4 of them. I've added some RTG just in case we need more power, and the main stage is just a Boodle engine and a main sail engine to get this thing into orbit. Once it reached the orbit, the ion engine would kick in, and with this fuel, we are literally going to anywhere we want. Okay, now before we launch this airplane, I just wanted to remind you that this will be also on SpaceX. Sorry, Kerbal X. Kerbal X. This will be on Kerbal X. You can download it. The link would be in the description below. And as usual, I will put at the end of the video a time lapse of the building phases. For now, let's roll it. Okay, as you can see, it's a little bit bouncy, and I forgot which key was the engine. Okay, number 1, activate the engine. And there we go. As you can see, the shape of the wing is rather large. This was customly built exactly for this flight and exactly for this cargo load, so it's not very reusable in terms of other type of rocket. But as long as the payload mass is the same, this would work on any cargo you want. So we're reaching 110 meters per second. Time to lift the nose up, and there we go, 120, 130. So we need to achieve a cruising altitude. I believe the last time we did is 20,000 meters. Let's get it rolling. Okay, there we go. We are achieving around 700 meters per second. I believe this can make up to 1000 meters per second delta V, and I just want to take the moment to explain about how this works. This airplane is having a 8 turbo ramjet engine, which is the Whiplash, and well, that's about it. The wing shape is in a halfway delta wing, so it can reduce the drag. I've attached a lot of controlling surfaces, but I've made them in a modular way. So, for example, these are only responsible for roll, while these, pitching up and down, these are only for yaw, obviously. So it can have a rather stable flight. Now we are reaching the atmospheric effect. We are at Mach 3.34. We're reaching 1000 meters per second. Come on, you can do it. Alright, so time to release the cargo bay, and I forgot which number does open the cargo bay, so I will have to do it manually. In time for the release of the majestic satellite to everywhere, to infinity and beyond. Okay, so the turbo ramjet engine Whiplash started losing thrust because we actually reached a level of the atmosphere where there is no enough air for the engine to operate, and the plane started to stall. So I think it's a good time now to release the main rocket. Okay, we are releasing in 3, 2, 1, decouple node. And there we go, smooth, smooth, stop rolling, stop rolling. Launching in 3, 2, 1, main engine ignition. Shit. Okay, take 2, we are releasing. And there goes the rocket. This time we are gonna activate it manually. So we are launching in 3, 2, 1. There we go. Main engine ignition, and we are up on our way. We are going at 900 meter per second, 970 meter per second. Everything seems to be stable. I want to achieve a higher altitude before we start achieving the orbit. And the airplane is going down. Unfortunately, I don't have a recovery mode, and for the sake of this video, we're gonna sacrifice some Kerbals. Okay, we have started gaining some altitude. We are going up by 10 meters per second. Let's accelerate it a little bit more because we are actually gaining a lot of speed. Okay, there we go. We are almost achieving an orbit, yet we did not achieve the altitude we need. I'm gonna give control to MechJib out of laziness, as usual. So we're gonna set the pitching angle to 45 degrees, and there we go. I'm gonna also fix our heading because I want to have a zero inclination, and as it seems, we are not having a zero inclination. We're going a little bit down. So 15,000 meters. We're actually reaching our orbital velocity. The orbit around Kerbin at 70,000 meters is 2,230. So we have to fix that. Okay, we are reaching 80 kilometer, 100 kilometer. Okay, that's it. Now we will pitch down to 0 degree, set our heading to 90 degree, and once we reach our apoapse, we will achieve our orbit, which is, well, overshoot or overkill in this case, but it's okay. Now, while we're in space, let's activate the radiators, sorry. Radiation. I wanna just kill Kerbals. The other solar panel has broken in somehow. My bad. Okay, so apparently we actually need a better way of controlling the rocket, otherwise it's gonna break up things. Oh my god, even the radiator has broke. I think this is when it went down. So we have only one radiator, one solar panel, but this is more than enough because it's actually the big one, and we still have the thermos. Okay, so we reached space. Now let's achieve the orbit. There we go, at our apoapse, sorry. Engine ignition. I'm gonna just burn until forever. I don't have really a certain destination for today. This was the prototype test flight, which I'm gonna implement in my career mode, but it actually can reach Eeloo, with all honesty. Let's give it a go. Let's try to achieve a high orbit, and I'll check for a transfer window to Eeloo. I'm gonna keep on burning until I reach the highest orbit I can achieve. Well, unless it exceeded 600 kilometer. Okay, well, it's exceeding more than it needs. Oi, stop! Run out of fuel. Please run out of fuel. You're reaching the sun. You have to stop now. Alright, there we go. Now I'm gonna also yet again give MechJib control. We're gonna use the circularization mode and just let it be. So we need 400 meters per second delta V to achieve a circularized orbit rather than this chopped up orbit that we have. Okay, so I've just realized that this was really an overkill, as usual. MechJib indicate that we do in fact have 10,000 delta V. So we got 10,000 meters per second acceleration. At this point, I don't think we will actually reach Eeloo. I think we will reach a new galaxy. Okay, so after a lot of planning using crazy technique between transfer window planner, this will be our launch window, and now we are taking advantage of it in the beginning of the transfer window. I give control to MechJib. We should need 2,900 meter per second delta V. Now where are we? Oh gosh, I kind of skipped a little bit over the node. I hope that's okay. MechJib can fix this. So there we go. As indicates, we have 4,000 delta V. We actually have a very good efficient engine. This is the Poodle engine. The specific impulse is 350. So that's very, very efficient compared to other rocket engine, especially the one we are actually using in real life. Okay, MechJib started going crazy. Please stop. Please stop. Okay. Whoa. I'm not sure what happened, but I'm guessing we screwed it. I'm just gonna keep on going around 2,000 meters per second in that direction, and hopefully we will actually encounter Eeloo. I believe the problem is we kind of skipped the place where we should start accelerating. As you can see, we should have started from this point, but we are already at this point, so I'm gonna change my heading. This is a waste of fuel, but since we have a lot of fuel extra, I don't mind it. By the way, if you're wondering what these windows are, this is Kerbalism, which is at this point useless because we are actually in the sandbox mode. Kerbalism is just like Realism Overhaul. It adds new indicators for radiation, temperature, comfort, well, pretty much life support mode. Okay, as you can see, the inclination of the orbit, of our orbit around Kerbin, is not in its best, but doesn't matter. Alright, we are heading toward the sun. I just want to reach the sun in order for me to place a new maneuver node and fix our heading toward Eeloo. So this is where we are. Let's skip to the sun and start planting a new maneuver node once again. There we are around the sun. I'm gonna use MechJib this time just to be sure that we're not gonna screw this up. Let's do a human transfer. So how much we need? Bloody hell. We need 3,000 delta V meter per second. Yeah, I know. Our orbit's not circularized, therefore MechJib is kind of afraid of me screwing this up. Holy shit, the transfer window is coming after a year. Oh, hold on, hold on, hold on. Okay. Well, I'm gonna take a shortcut. Accelerate. Screw you, MechJib. I'm gonna do this manually. So we are still in the transfer window, like not the most efficient, but at least we are here. We do have a transfer window and we are in the corner around it. So let's place a maneuver node and accelerate. Meanwhile, let's slow down. We actually achieved more than what we should, and there we go. So the nearest encounter would be, just want to achieve the nearest encounter. This is the nearest encounter we can get. We would be here and Eeloo would be here. So I guess it's better to start the window here. When we come back, Eeloo will be here. No, we actually start here. So within 2 days, we should start the launch, and Eeloo will be there. Now, to make things a little bit closer. Oh. This one. So, we will encounter Joule. Oh, not Joule. Hold on. Oh gosh, I'm gonna skip this part because this is placing a maneuver node part, which literally need a video of its own. Okay, so 3 hours later, and after a lot of acceleration, we actually finished the fuel tank. So we are gonna skip. Decoupling finished. This is the best part of the whole ship because this is electronic engine. This is literally an engine. It's using xenon gas and a lot of electric power. Now, of course, this is more than enough to supply this crazy engine. It has an acceleration of 0.0. Actually, we have an acceleration of 0.12. which is not bad for a satellite. The whole point of this is it's able to accelerate forever. As you can see now, we are reaching Eeloo approximately. Separating approach is 65 million meter, which is okay, because next we are going to use makeshift to fine-tune the closest approach, and that's going to cost us approximately 1600 delta V. All right, let's go. Okay, now this is the real test of the engine. As you can see, we are losing electric power at approximately, well, it says 6 per second, but we're covering up around 4 per second. No? Well, actually half per second. Okay, so we're losing 6 per second electric charge. However, in reserve, we got 8,000 in this battery. And that's great because, with all honesty, I think we're alright. Oh, I forgot, we actually have this too. Each 4 of these give us, well, I have no idea. Each one of these give you 45 per minute, 45 electrical charge per minute. So it's almost 1 per second, or let's say 80 per second. And off we go. The temperature of the aircraft seems to be okay. The only critical part in terms of heating is nothing really. All parts seems to be alright. The engine is doing well. 4 of these. We have an acceleration of 0.12, which is great. The remaining delta V is 6,000. At this point, I'm not even sure. Should I go to Eeloo and come back, or just keep this at Eeloo and end up there forever? Okay, so after hours of acceleration, as it seems, we indeed have an encounter with Eeloo. This is the greatest moment ever. Actually, this is the first time I even planned a course or come closer to Eeloo. Eeloo has a rather large orbit around the sun, but we are in, well, in a small place, you can say. Our observation report. Okay, so this is coming out from Kerbalism. And as it seems, we have a solar storm. But that's also for another episode. For now, let's focus on getting this satellite into Eeloo orbit. Now, the best part about this engine and the worst part about this engine are the same, actually. They use little bit less fuel than any other engine. Matter of fact, 10 times less fuel rather than any other engine. Pretty much like a jet engine. However, their thrust is 2 kiloton, and for such craft, that will give us an acceleration of approximately 0.13 per second, which is a lot less than ordinary engine. And the reason for that is these engines charge the particle out of their exhaust to accelerate to higher velocity, which means we will be able to use less fuel and get more power. But in comparison to hydrogen engine, or better yet, kerosene engine, they don't provide much of thrust. These are only providing 2 kiloton of thrust. Again, they don't use a lot of fuel for that. Like example, this engine could give us 4,000 delta V, while at the same size, if we use a kerosene engine, it will give us merely 400 delta V. And the reason for that is, again, these engines simply use an electromagnetic propulsion. It charge up the particle to exit the exhaust at a higher velocity, which will give us a better propulsion forward or in the opposite direction at the cost of electric charge. And since we're in space and we do have solar panel, electric charge is not the problem as much as fuel is the problem, because when you go to space, you can only take a certain amount of fuel, but electricity, you can harvest it up in space. We even have a nuke radioscopic thermoelectric generator. Okay, so our encounter would be after 3 years. And I'm gonna see you guys when we were there. Oh my god, there we go. By a slightest mistake, I kind of overshoot. So now we have to go to retrograde and start deceleration in order for us to actually achieve an orbit around Eeloo. And Eeloo, as it seems, is a rather tiny planet, which is at the size of the moon around Kerbin. Now we are accelerating at 2,800 delta V. We actually do have enough delta V to slow down and even land on Eeloo, which is I'm gonna try to do. it's either Eeloo or a bust. Okay, so I've reached a rather boiling point where I am going over 260 meters per second, but yet I'm still exiting Eeloo's field of influence. I've just realized that Eeloo is really tiny for a planet, and since it's very far from the sun sphere of influence, it doesn't really have a strong gravitational pull to a level that I am still going by 200 meters per second, and chances is I'm actually going to exit its orbit. Now, luckily, we will not exit the orbit because, whoa, what just happened? Hoi, 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 oh, okay, okay, okay. Oh my god, this is bad. So I believe I've just run out of electrical power. Whew. Okay, thankfully, we did have a solar panel and this nuke. Otherwise, it's gonna be a disaster. Okay, so I guess we're gonna wait for a second to replenish our electrical charge, or maybe turn on the engine, but a little bit, not too much. Okay, so at this rate, we are charging the battery a little bit, and we still have a good deceleration toward our retrograde. And where was I? So, this is a nightmare. Okay, at least it didn't end up badly as I expected. Now, Eeloo doesn't really have any gravitational pull. At this point, at this orbit, and at this place, if we are around a larger planet, including Moon, you know, the moon of Kerbin, it have it has a really stronger gravitational pull. I was looking toward the torque, thrust to weight ratio. It's now 1.4, so we actually can land on Eeloo. And as it seems we're starting to have a curvature, yep, we do indeed have an orbit. Matter of fact, we are going to land on Eeloo soon enough. So I'm gonna just have a little bit burn. It's gonna take us 40 days to go up and come back. Oh my god, Eeloo doesn't have any gravitational pull in comparison to any other sphere of influence I've visited in Kerbal Space Program. So we have 1600 delta V per second, and yet again we run out of power. So I'm just gonna skip forward to recharge our electrical charge, recalculate how much power were we needing, well, how much thrust do we need to actually achieve a landing. Now we have a lot of thrust, but at this point it is really hard to calculate how much time do we have before we touch the surface, because we only have a, well, it's 1.4, which is, I would say, it's good enough in comparison to what we had before to land on the planet and find a suitable place for landing. So now it's time again to skip forward, have a quick save right here, and I'll see you guys at the touchdown. Okay, so here we are once again. Time to impact is 3 hours, and well, it's increasing right now because we're actually very high in orbit and we're still say, slowing down, which is not necessarily, but I just wanted to be sure that this time we will not crush the ship, since we do have a lot of delta V left. Matter of fact, enough maybe to bring us back to Kerbin. Maybe on the next flight, I'll add another extra fuel tank instead of those 2 extra battery. And yeah, we will actually make it 2 ways. Okay, so now again we reached a rather slow velocity. I'm gonna skip forward once more. And yeah, I guess this is enough. Time to impact is 1 hour, and we do have our speed's 250. Again, I'll try to reduce it to approximately 150, and then we are gonna go for a suicidal burn. So I'll see you guys in a bit. Alright, so as you can see now, we reached a pretty good level. This is what I call a suicidal burn. Now, as you can see, our time to impact is moving rather slowly, while our speed is depleting rapidly. What does this tell us? Well, we will reach the ground level or above the ground level by a couple of meters. At the time our speed would be 0, meaning we will not waste any fuel out in space, and we will reach the ground level at 0 fuel, which is the best efficient way, Scott-manly type of way, to fix things the right way. But the question would be, would it actually work? And after all, of course, I've learned from the master himself.
Cracking.
Okay, so we've reached a very good level. Oh my god, this is taking forever. Right now we are at years 6, day 62 for our. It feels like real time. Oh, okay, we just switched to surface velocity, which I would say is good enough. Um, the computer on board is going crazy, as you can see. It's going left and right, up and down. So to the suicide burn, we are landing in 50 seconds. We require 200 delta V. We are at, well, 100 delta. We're crashing. Okay, we're crashing. I think I screwed it up. We might lose few parts, but the rest of the probe should land in, well, pieces. So we are at 7 kilometers up. Time to impact is 40 seconds. We can, well, actually it is a suicide burn. We are gonna reach down at the ground by a 0. So our speed is 100. We are able to remove 150 per minute, and we have half a minute, so 75. So touchdown speed should be approximately 25 meters per second. Now let's see how would that go. How would that go? By the way, that when we land, we don't have any fuel left. Okay, there we go. We're coming in hot. We are impacting in 5 seconds. I'm gonna turn this one off. Our speed is 55, and well, I said we are gonna land in pieces, but you know, we actually landed on Eeloo. Check this one out. We did it. We landed on Eeloo. Now the gravity here seems to be of somewhat low gravity, but you know, this is not a usual video for me. I mean, normally videos comes like this. Would it crash? Come on. We have reached the supersonic level of flipping over. Now by the time I'm gonna touch the ground at this speed, we're gonna actually push ourselves forward. Let's see. Well, we did reach a speed of 17 meters per second, which is awesome. Now let's get to building. Alright, there we are in the space plane hangar now. I'm sorry to tell you guys, there is no building for this one. As well, honestly, it's quite simple and complicated at the same time. I'm using a new mod, and it's hard to build or to get the old parts out of the part pool, I guess. So this is basically how the plane looks like, and I will show you the rocket in a minute. Well, the wings are chop. The whole plane is cargo bay, which are 3 cargo bay, and then a ramp, which we don't really use. The turboram jet engine in the back, along with the pre-coolers, which by the way, here's where we are holding the fuel, and a nice tail, I would say. Nevertheless, this is a very good way of designing tails, as the center of the lift in above the center of the mass, so you're able to pull up rather easily. Now, it doesn't pitch down easily, but at least it does pull up. And the front is just a normal front. Now, in the cargo bay, we have the rocket, so let's have a look at it. This is the prop core. I am going to change this container for the next video, where we're actually gonna go to, what's the smallest planet on Kerbin system? Moho. Yep, I'm gonna take this one to Moho in the next episode. Now this is for down engine. I'm gonna replace these two battery with this xenon container. I'm probably gonna put something to protect these, because in today's flight, by mistake, I kind of destroyed them-ish. Okay. So, as usual, guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you did enjoy today's video. And as usual, if you did, don't forget to slap that like button. And until next time, stay tuned.